Hi, Chris Monlix here from Videomaker, here to talk to you about the Nikon D4s.
Alright, sorry about that. As you can see, I'm a bit awkward on camera, so I'm just going to stick to the B-roll and the test footage. So the Nikon 24-70 f2.8 GED was used for this review. It retails at $1889.95, and the MSRP on the D4s is $6499.95. So this camera is definitely a professional camera. In fact, it's Nikon's flagship model. It replaces the Nikon D4 that has been out since 2012. The two cameras look very similar, but there are a few key upgrades. First is the ISO range, and we're talking about the standard range, not the expanded, but do note the expanded ISO range is 409,600. That's what you need to be a really great spy, or maybe just at least a private eye. But I digress. The standard ISO is up from 12,800 with the D4 to 25,600. That's double. Yeah, double. Sorry, folks. I had to get my trusty calculator out to get that math figured out. But next is the amount of frames when continuously shooting with autofocus, up from 10 to 11. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's important when shooting fast-moving dynamic subjects like sports. Then my favorite change is in video mode in the frame rate options in full 1080 HD. There are now 5 full 1080 HD frame rate options, including 24p, 25p, 30p, 50p, and 60p. That's 2 more options over the Canon EOS 1DX. So that means that you can slow down 60p footage to 24p, which equals 40% slow-mo. There are 14 different white balance modes, including 2 different auto types, a sliding controller temperature from 2500K to 10,000K, cloudy, shade, direct sunlight, flash, 7 types of fluorescent, incandescent and manual. Up to 6 values can be stored. There are also 6 different picture control filters: landscape, monochrome, neutral, portrait, standard, custom, and vivid. To test the different frame rate options, we shot a foosball table, spinning the little men around, dollying past, and doing a test for slow-mo. There wasn't many surprises. The video came out just as expected. The dynamic range was great, and the picture was clear. We slowed down the 60p to 24p to test how they looked when converted for slow-mo. If the movement was too fast, we got rolling shutter as expected. Otherwise, it performed great. You know, overall, the camera performed wonderfully. If you're thinking about buying this camera, we only have a few reservations. The first thing to note is that it only has an 1/8" stereo jack for audio input. Knowing this is a photography camera first, it makes sense, but if it was designed with XLR input, the usefulness of this camera for pro videographers would grow greatly. And second, you know, the controls could use some more intuitive design. Some of the buttons were just in goofy places. You had to press them to get one thing done, and it didn't really function as easy and smoothly as possible, but a little bit of time with the camera would probably solve that. And lastly, because of its cost and being Nikon's flagship model, we'd hope that maybe it had a 120p frame rate option. You know, take a look for yourself at the test pictures and video. There isn't any letdown with the end product. The video and pictures look great, as one would expect from Nikon's flagship model, and it performed wonderfully. If you get your chance to get your hands on one, pick it up, get a feel for the buttons and layout. All right, folks, well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I've been Chris Monlix for Videomaker, and this was the Nikon D4s.